Yesterday, I made a whole glorious video about dairy. Should you be consuming dairy on a ketogenic or a carnivore meat or meat-based diet? Benefits, maybe some downsides, and some new aspects about it. I'm going to remake this video and add some more things because my audio sucked because I got to get this phone fixed. And yes, I have a microphone. I just am too lazy to charge it. So we're going to use the little TP wired earphones this time. Let's get into it. Welcome everyone to my humble life because I'm using Walmart wired headphones. I really suggest you toss them brain fryers with the Bluetooth. I did. It was glorious. I'm in the gym like rocking it out, feeling like a rock star with my cheap headphones because I'm not blasting my friggin' brain. But I digress. Let's get right on to dairy. Now, it's very controversial. Years ago, I told people to stop consuming so much dairy because people are having cross-reactivity. And if you grew up on wheat and it's been genetically hybridized and selectively bred and modified, preserved, glyphosate, well, people are having problems. And I mean wee bit. I mean, celiac disease is out of control. And a lot of you guys don't even realize that you have it. So what does this have to do with friggin' dairy if wheat is a whole nother subject? And that is because of the subject cross-reactivity. The body is pretty smart. Well, maybe smart, not smart. But it starts to mimic certain foods just like wheat. Like it sees it as wheat. Like dairy. I know. The body stamps things that are bad for you. Oh, you know, wheat, bad. Oops, rice, bad. Not everyone, so take it with a grain of salt. Not everyone, but a lot of people have cross-reactivity when their gut is so damaged. The body will start thinking that your rice or your oats and your dairy is still wheat. And so people switch to this like gluten-free diet and they still have their symptoms and they don't connect it to those other things like their almond flour and their rice bread and sometimes the dairy. Now, dairy has a lot of benefits. It's got fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin D, E, A, and K. Now the D and the A and the E, actually all of them, but really the vitamin D, E, A, and the K from butter and egg yolks is supreme. So many people are vitamin D deficient. Let's say you're in Florida, but you got leaky gut, you're in the sun, but you're still low on D. It's the gut. And you might even be consuming egg yolks rather, and butter and still have low D. So we got to sit and fix that friggin' gut. And that's a whole nother clusterfuck of a mess, the gut, which is why a lot of you guys can't absorb. But if you don't even do the liver or the butter or the egg yolks, when you do, eat just a wee bit of it, you'd be surprised how much still your body will be benefiting from these types of foods. So let's go more into butter. Dairy is supreme, if you can tolerate it. From healthy animals, the breakdown of the fat-soluble vitamins, amazing. The K2, amazing. K1, K2, mostly K2, which is going to help you take that extra calcium and sort of drive it into the right direction so it doesn't plaque. We need K2, we need K1, We need our vitamin D and E and A and K. E, A, D. Wow, what powerful fat-soluble vitamins packed in butter, which sucks because so many of you have a histamine issue and can't tolerate the butter. That's a whole nother subject about working on your gut so you can tolerate dairy. So it's difficult knowing that it's so freaking healthy, but many of you cannot consume dairy. Should you consume it? Should you do the cream, grass-fed cream? Should you do the cottage cheese? Should you do the sour cream, the kefir, the raw milk? Unfortunately, with raw milk, there's too many carbs. So, unfortunately, it just doesn't work. Some of you have, again, such bad reaction to the whey and casein that even with raw milk, you react. Not everyone, but a lot of people with a broken gut wall. Writing the line of should you be consuming your kefirs and your yogurts, it's a tough one because, of course, many of you have a protein sensitivity, whey and casein, and then there's another group of you that cannot deal with the bacterial overload from fermented dairy. You just have to experiment. You could be dumping too much lactobacillus, offsetting your gut. And it's very individual. Some people take like specific tests to see what they're deficient in and what to add and what to pull back on, because even beneficial bacteria in excess can wreck the gut because things become out of balance when you're dumping in not naturally foods and you're shoving it down the gullet. So with that said, should you be consuming dairy, and who shouldn't? Before I go into who should not, let's go into more details like the production of your reproductive hormones. I know, the cholesterol, meaning estrogen, progesterone, testosterone from butter. Ridiculous. It's really about your hormones. This is what I was trying to explain in the last video. It really supports hormonal health. Yeah, eating butter. Yes, the fat-soluble vitamins plus the cholesterol. Yeah. And a lot of you women who are going through menopause, you're running towards all of the creams and elixirs, and men are running towards testosterone. And sometimes women, instead of preserving the adrenals and getting in the cholesterol, which is a precursor to reproductive hormones, even if they have to be made in the adrenals for postmenopausal women. But what about insulin? Because dairy, butter, it helps with the production of insulin, and it helps with the uptake of glucose. A lot of you are experiencing the early morning dawns phenomenon, but you're not getting in enough cholesterol from animal fat, especially with tyne cholesterol, egg yolks, and butter. Yeah. Managing your blood sugar through eating animal fat. I mean, voila, it makes perfect sense. Not carbs, but the fat. Not only ketosis, but the cholesterol supporting the uptake of glucose when your blood sugar gets too friggin' high and you start gaining weight and feeling like crap and having hypoglycemia or dysglycemia, and then you just take some butter. But the caveat is, if you can tolerate it. If your gallbladder can tolerate it. Yeah. It's interesting. Dairy is amazing, and it can be a complete nightmare for some people. Who is going through a complete nightmare? Gallbladder people, people with no gallbladder, people with gallbladder sludge, tight gallbladder, or stones. Yeah, and you got to figure out which one, or which issue you have, and I have a ton of videos going over it to save time not to go through it again. Yeah, that's a person who can't consume butter as in a part of the dairy family. Should you run towards cream or sour cream? Well, sour cream, no, that's got too many milk proteins in it. Kind of people have this spike in glucose because of that. And also cottage cheese. No. A raw goat cheese, maybe. But let's get back to the moo cow. I really recommend people start with just butter before they start introducing all of these other things like grass-fed cream, which might be a possibility, or your cottage cheese. Yeah, or even sour cream. Butter is amazing. For me, it's the top choice out of all of these animal fats. The problem is a lot of you cannot tolerate it because of the broken gut wall. Unfortunately, it's a high histamine food. So what does that mean? We have an intestine, small intestine, and a large one. Small one is to absorb the food, large one is to take byproducts and poop it out. We develop holes in the small intestinal wall, and I mean most people, and then the microvilli that help move food along, they break off. When that happens, you get bloated, you get achy, joint pain, tired, mucus, headache, infertility, gas, loose stool, floating stool, yellow stool, IBS, constipation. Like when the gut is fracked up, you are pretty much, as the Swedish say, värdelös, and that means worthless. Yeah, you jacked. I don't mean hijacked. The symptoms come on strong with people who've got severe leaky gut or mast cell activation when they take in butter, which is high histamine food, because of the proteins. Because really, you're not supposed to be sucking the teat of a cow. Even if there's massive nutritional benefits, for those who have a weak gut wall, it can come back to bite you. So how do you know? Well, look at the symptoms, like I said. Bloated, loose stool, constipation, gassy, headaches, joint pain, rashes, bunch of weird stuff. Just not feeling well. Depression, menstrual irregularities. I know I can speak sometimes. For me, the benefits outweigh the pitfalls because I have no dairy sensitivity. That means I get nice vitamin E for the skin. I get lovely K2 to help calcium keep flowing through and distributing it so it doesn't get stuck in my arteries. My immune system is through the roof and it's not on fire. And I'm not going to let any mother sucker, The benefits are just ridiculous. The synthesization of D3 from the sun, along with magnesium, and the butter, another anti-aging benefit, and immune system, and connected to my endocrine system. So really check to see if you have a gallbladder issue or if you are reacting whatsoever, because if you are having a histamine sensitivity allergy to the dairy and you don't know it, you could be negating your body getting better, because the body's not going to get better until the inflammation goes down. We don't want chronic inflammation. So comment below, share this content. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. It's a beautiful day. I need to get outside and do some ranch work and work with the horses and film it so you guys can see my new life without my very best friend, Thunder, who I love and miss every single day. But he has changed the trajectory of my life. And if you guys thought I was a hard ass before, no. That horse has made me a teddy bear. Or like an egg. Tough on the outside, but super soft on the inside. Just the internet doesn't present that. Yeah. And I'm out. Share this content, comment below. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page, Stephanie Business Person. Past all these horses in house built, I will be doing my 30-day challenge. I have not forgotten about it. I will finish my book. It's just that Stephanie has taken on too much all by herself. That's what I do. Energy at 57, going on 58 and counting, and we are out. Ketosis, baby. Carnivore, keto. Think about it. Peace.